I'm Claire, a woman who's spent decades fading into the background. My life a muted canvas of routine and restraint in a sleepy college town. But yesterday, everything changed. A cryptic request from my husband, Mark, pulled me out of my shell and into the shadowy depths of an empty campus auditorium, where secrets lingered in the air like a storm waiting to break. My heart raced as I stepped into the unknown, bare arms trembling in the cool air, feeling the weight of unseen eyes watching my every move. What was waiting for me in that cavern of silence? And why did it feel like the life I've always known was about to unravel in ways I never imagined? Picture this: a single, unassuming sparrow perched on a bare branch at dawn, its tiny frame trembling against the pale gray sky, unnoticed by the world below. That's how I've always felt, tucked away in the quiet corners of life. My name is Claire, and at 45, I've carved out a small, unremarkable existence in a sleepy college town that barely registers on most maps. My days unfold with the precision of a metronome, each tick as predictable as the last. I'm the woman you'd pass on the street without a second glance, always draped in long-sleeved, modest dresses that brush my knees, my chestnut hair pinned back so tightly it almost pulls at my scalp. My voice, when I use it, is soft, barely above a whisper, as if I'm afraid to disturb the air around me. I'm unassuming, a shadow in human form, blending into the muted tones of my own life. Every morning, I'm up at 6 a.m., the alarm's shrill cry slicing through the stillness of our modest home. I shuffle to the kitchen in my worn slippers, the linoleum cool underfoot, and start on breakfast for Mark, my husband of 20 years. The sizzle of bacon and the clink of plates are the soundtrack to our mornings. Mark, 48, is a steady presence, a man who's worn the same security guard uniform at Westview Community College for over a decade. His shifts often stretch into the late hours or spill over into weekends, leaving the house quiet and me with my thoughts. He's a man of few words, his weathered face etched with lines from years of standing watch, his broad shoulders carrying an unspoken weight. But it's his gray eyes that catch me sometimes. There's a subtle intensity there, a flicker of something I can't quite name, hidden beneath his calm exterior. Our marriage, well, it's like a well-worn path through a familiar forest. Comfortable, yes, but the scenery hasn't changed in years. The passion that once sparked between us has dimmed to a faint glow, replaced by routine and roles we play without question. I'm the dutiful wife, the keeper of our home. He's the provider, the protector. We rarely step outside those lines, rarely challenge the quiet rhythm we've settled into. Sometimes I catch myself wondering if this is all there is, if the life we've built is just a shell, pretty on the outside, but hollow within. Mark works alongside a small crew at the college, 3 men I've met in passing over the years. There's Tom, 52, with a gruff edge to his voice and a salt and pepper beard that makes him look like he's stepped out of a rugged frontier tale. Then there's Richard, 55, tall and wiry, always wearing a sly grin that makes you wonder what he's thinking. And Henry, 50, stocky and reserved, his deep, gravelly voice rumbling like distant thunder when he speaks. I've never thought it's 7 p.m., and I'm still at my desk in the cramped, dimly lit back room of the accounting firm where I've spent the last 8 hours drowning in numbers. The faint hum of the fluorescent light above me buzzes like a persistent mosquito, and the stacks of paperwork around me seem to grow taller by the minute, a silent testament to the monotony of my days. My fingers ache from typing, and my eyes burn behind the thin frames of my glasses. I'm just about to pack up, dreaming of the quiet comfort of home, when a shadow falls across the doorway. I look up, startled, to see Mark standing there, still in his Navy security uniform, with the Westview Community College logo stitched on the chest. His boots are scuffed, the leather worn from endless patrols, and there's a faint sheen of sweat on his brow, evidence of a long shift under the late autumn sun. He leans against the doorframe, arms crossed, his expression unreadable, like a puzzle I've never quite figured out. "Tomorrow's a technical break at the college," he says, his voice low, almost a murmur, as if he's testing the waters. "The campus will be empty. I want you to do something not entirely proper." His words hang in the air, heavy and cryptic, and my heart skips a beat, a sudden jolt in the stillness of the room. I adjust my glasses, pushing them up the bridge of my nose, and blink at him, confusion knitting my brows together. "What do you mean?" I ask, my voice softer than I intend, betraying the uncertainty bubbling inside me. I'm expecting him to laugh it off or explain himself, but instead, he just smirks, a rare, unsettling twist of his lips that sends a shiver down my spine. "Meet me at the campus auditorium at 3 p.m. tomorrow," he says, his gray eyes locking onto mine with that strange intensity I've noticed before. "And wear something less buttoned up than usual." Then, without another word, he turns and walks away, his boots echoing down the empty hallway. I sit there, frozen, my mind racing to catch up with what just happened. Not entirely proper? Less buttoned up? The phrases loop in my head, each one more perplexing than the last. Part of me is nervous, a tight knot forming in my stomach at the vagueness of it all. I've always been the rule follower, the one who colors inside the lines, and Mark knows that better than anyone. So why the mystery? Why the smirk? I'm almost annoyed at him for leaving me in the dark like this, for dangling something so unclear in front of me after a day that's already drained me dry. But there's another part of me, a quieter, more hidden part, that feels a flicker of something else. Excitement, maybe? A tiny spark of curiosity at the thought of breaking from the mundane, of stepping outside the predictable rhythm of my life, even if just for a moment. The next day, I'm behind the wheel, driving toward Westview Community College, my palms slick with sweat against the steering wheel. The autumn leaves swirl outside my window, a chaotic dance of crimson and gold, mirroring the storm of nerves inside me. I can't shake the memory of Mark's cryptic words from last night, that unsettling smirk, and the way he left me hanging with more questions than answers. What does he want from me? What could possibly be waiting at the auditorium? My mind churns as the familiar streets blur past, each mile bringing me closer to something I can't quite grasp. I pull into the campus, and it's like stepping into a ghost town. The technical break has emptied the place. No students rushing between classes, no staff lingering in the courtyards, just vast, silent parking lots and buildings that loom like forgotten relics. The quiet is unnerving, pressing against me like a weight. I park near the auditorium, a sleek, modern structure with towering glass doors that reflect the overcast sky. My hands tremble as I smooth down the navy dress I chose, sleeveless, daring in a way I haven't been in years. My arms are bare, exposed to the cool air, and I feel naked, vulnerable, as if the world can see every hidden part of me. I step out of the car, the chill biting at my skin, and force myself to move forward, each step heavier than the last. Inside, the auditorium is a cavern of shadows. It's exactly 3 p.m., and my heels click sharply on the polished floor, the sound echoing through the vast, dimly lit space. Rows of empty seats stretch endlessly into the darkness, like an audience of ghosts watching my every move. My breath catches as I scan the room, feeling small, insignificant, in this enormous emptiness. Then I see them. Tom, Richard, and Henry, standing near the stage, all clad in their security uniforms, navy fabric stretched over broad frames. Their postures are casual, hands in pockets or arms crossed, but their eyes are sharp, cutting through the dim light locked on me with an intensity that makes my stomach twist. I freeze mid-step, confusion morphing into a creeping unease. Why are they here? Why are they looking at me like that? Like they know something I don't. Like they can see straight through the careful mask I've worn for so long. Before I can find my voice, a crackle splits the silence, and Mark's voice booms through the auditorium speakers, deep and deliberate, sending a jolt through my core. This is for you, Claire. A gift. If you're ready, let go. My heart slams against my ribs, a frantic rhythm as I whip my head around, searching for him. Then I spot the cameras mounted in the corners, their tiny red lights blinking like unblinking eyes. He's watching. From the security booth, hidden somewhere out of sight, Mark is watching me, orchestrating this moment. My mind reels as the pieces snap together with sickening clarity. He planned this. He invited these men, his colleagues, men I've only ever known in passing, to be here with me, alone, in this empty, echoing space. What kind of gift is this? What does he expect me to let go of? Fear claws at my throat, sharp and cold, but beneath it there's something else, a flicker of curiosity, a whisper of something long buried, stirring in the depths of me. I've spent decades hiding, shrinking into the background, but now I'm standing here, exposed in more ways than one, and I can't ignore the strange pull tugging at me. Tom steps forward first, his boots heavy on the floor, his rough hand brushing against my bare arm. The contact sends a shiver through me, not entirely from fear. His eyes, dark and searching, meet mine, silently asking a question I'm not sure I can answer. Richard and Henry hang back, their gazes just as piercing, pinning me in place as if I'm a specimen under glass. I can feel the weight of their attention, heavy and unrelenting, and it's suffocating. But also, in some twisted way, electrifying. I stumble back a step, my heart pounding so hard I'm sure they can hear it in the stillness of the auditorium. I'm standing on the stage now, the cool, smooth floor beneath my bare feet grounding me, though my breath is shallow, barely filling my lungs. The air around me feels thick, heavy with something unspoken, something that hangs between us like a storm about to break. I can't tear my eyes away from Tom as he steps closer, his presence commanding, almost overwhelming. His calloused fingers reach out, rough from years of hard work, and gently lift my chin, forcing me to meet his steady, unyielding gaze. There's a question in his dark eyes, a silent challenge, and I feel my pulse quicken under his touch, a heat spreading through me that I can't ignore. Behind me, I sense Richard before I see him, his tall, wiry frame moving with a predator's grace. He circles around, slow and deliberate, until he's at my back, and then I feel it. His hand tracing a slow, deliberate line down my spine. The sensation sends shivers cascading through me, electric and unbidden, my skin prickling under the weight of his touch. It's as if he's mapping out every inch of me, claiming a space I've kept locked away for so long. My breath hitches, a small, involuntary sound, and I hate how vulnerable it makes me feel, yet I can't bring myself to pull away. The faint scent of his cologne, mixed with the raw edge of sweat, fills my senses, grounding me in this moment even as my mind spins. Then there's Henry, stocky and imposing, stepping in close from the side. His hot breath brushes against my ear, sending a jolt through my core as he leans in, his voice a low, gravelly whisper that cuts through the haze. "You've been hiding too long, haven't you?" he murmurs, the words sinking into me like a stone dropped into still water, rippling through every part of me. I can feel the warmth of him, the nearness, and it's intoxicating in a way I never expected. My mind screams to step back, to run, but my body stays rooted, caught in the pull of something I've denied for decades. Inside, I'm a battlefield. Years of restraint, of propriety, of being the good, quiet Claire, clash violently with this raw, unfamiliar hunger that's clawing its way to the surface. I've spent my life suppressing it, burying it under layers of modest dresses and whispered conversations, pretending it didn't exist. But now, here on this stage, with these men surrounding me, it's breaking free, and I don't know how to stop it, or if I even want to. I think of Mark, watching through those cold, unblinking cameras in the corners, his voice still echoing in my mind from moments ago, urging me to let go. Let go of what? Of everything I've been? Of the shell I've built around myself? His words are a tether, pulling me towards something I can't name, something that both terrifies and thrills me. The physical sensations anchor me to this moment, even as my thoughts spiral. The coolness of the stage floor seeps into my soles, a stark contrast to the heat building in my chest. The mingled scents of cologne and the faint musk of exertion from the men around me wrap around my senses, dizzying and potent. My own breathing is ragged, uneven, each inhale sharp in the quiet, betraying the storm inside me. I can hear it, the sound of my own uncertainty, and it mirrors the trembling in my limbs. I realize, with a jolt of clarity, that I'm not resisting. I'm not pulling away from Tom's steady grip on my chin, or Richard's lingering touch, or Henry's whispered words that still hang in the air. That realization hits me like a wave, terrifying in its truth, but also liberating in a way I can't fully grasp yet. I've spent so long hiding, shrinking into the background of my own life, that I've forgotten what it feels like to be seen, to be felt. But now, standing here, I make a choice. And in that moment, I surrender. It's not a defeat, but a release. A deliberate unraveling of every tightly wound thread I've woven around myself for years. I let go, fully and completely, allowing Tom, Richard, and Henry to draw closer, their presence enveloping me like a tide I no longer fight against. My skin comes alive under their touch, each contact a spark that ignites something dormant deep within me. Tom's hands, rough and weathered, graze my arms with a firmness that sends warmth spreading through my veins, a contrast to the cool air of the auditorium. Richard's fingers linger at the small of my back, pressing with an intensity that makes my breath catch, as if he's unlocking a door I've kept shut for too long. Henry's grip is steadier, more grounding, his palms resting on my shoulders, the heat of them seeping through the thin fabric of my dress, making my skin prickle with every subtle shift. Every sensation is magnified, sharp and vivid, as if I'm feeling everything for the first time. The roughness of their calloused hands against my softer skin, the way their breaths mingle with mine in the quiet space, the faint rustle of fabric as we move together. It all builds into a symphony of awareness. My body responds in ways I've never allowed it to before, awakening to every brush, every press, every whispered breath near my ear. It's as if I'm shedding layers, not just of clothing, but of the prim, reserved Claire I've always been. With each passing second, I'm peeling away the mask, stepping out of the shadow I've lived in, and into something raw, something real. I'm acutely aware of the cameras in the corners, those tiny red lights blinking like silent sentinels. Mark is watching from somewhere beyond these walls, his gaze reaching me through the cold lens, witnessing every moment of my transformation. But instead of shame, I feel a strange, heady empowerment. He's seeing a side of me I've hidden even from myself, a part he must have always suspected was there, buried beneath the surface of our quiet, predictable life. Knowing his eyes are on me, taking in every detail of this forbidden dance, fuels something inside me, a boldness I didn't know I possessed. I'm not just being seen, I'm choosing to be seen, and there's a power in that I can't ignore. I move with them now, not as a passive figure caught in their current, but as someone making deliberate choices. My hands reach out, tentative at first, then bolder, tracing the outlines of their uniforms, feeling the strength beneath the fabric. I step closer, closing the distance, letting my body speak in ways my words never could. My hips sway slightly, instinctively, as if guided by a rhythm only I can hear, a melody of desire that's been silenced for far too long. I'm not just reacting. I'm participating, claiming this moment as my own, rewriting the script of who I am with every touch, every glance, every shared breath in this surreal space. The auditorium itself transforms around me, no longer just a cavern of shadows, but a stage for my rebirth. The empty seats stretch out into the darkness, row after row of silent witnesses to this unraveling. They seem to watch, unjudging, as I cross lines I never thought I would. The vastness of the space amplifies every sound. My uneven breaths, the soft shuffle of movement, the low murmurs of encouragement from the men around me. It's as if the very walls are holding their breath, complicit in this act of defiance against the life I've known. The stage beneath my feet feels like a boundary I've stepped over, a threshold between the old Claire and whoever I'm becoming in this charged electric moment. I don't shy away from the weight of what this means. I know I'm betraying vows, crossing a line in my marriage that cannot be uncrossed. The thought of Mark, of the life we've built over 2 decades, flickers through my mind like a shadow on the edge of this storm. But in the heat of this moment, guilt doesn't touch me. It's as if it's been burned away by the fire coursing through my veins. The auditorium falls silent once more, a heavy stillness settling over the vast space like a blanket after a storm. I'm perched on the edge of the stage, my legs dangling over the side, the cool wood pressing against the backs of my thighs. My chest rises and falls unevenly, trying to catch the breath that still eludes me. Tom, Richard, and Henry step back, their movements slow and measured, as if they're giving me space to process the whirlwind that just unfolded. Their faces hold a mix of quiet satisfaction and something akin to respect, though no words are exchanged. One by one, they turn and walk toward the wings of the stage, their heavy boots echoing faintly until they disappear into the shadows, leaving me alone with the weight of what just transpired. My mind is a reel of vivid flashes. Every touch, every whispered word, every moment of surrender plays on a loop, searing itself into my memory. My skin still tingles where their hands lingered, a phantom warmth that refuses to fade, and I can't help but trace my fingers over my arm, as if to confirm it was real. The silence stretches on, broken only by the distant creak of the glass doors at the back of the auditorium swinging open. My head snaps up, my heart giving a startled thud, and I see him. Mark, stepping into the dim light. The sound of his boots against the polished floor reverberates through the empty space, each step slow and deliberate, like he's measuring the distance between us with every stride. I watch him approach, unable to move, my body still humming with the aftershocks of everything. His navy uniform looks slightly rumpled, as if he's been pacing or running his hands through his hair in agitation, but his face is a mask I can't read. Not yet. The shadows play across his weathered features, hiding the emotions in those gray eyes until he's closer, until he's right in front of me. Then, without a word, he lowers himself to sit beside me on the stage edge, close enough that I can feel the heat radiating from his body, a stark contrast to the cool air around us. The faint scent of his aftershave, mixed with the earthy trace of a long day's work, washes over me, grounding me in this surreal moment. I turn my head slightly, meeting his gaze, and I'm struck by the intensity there. His eyes aren't clouded with anger or betrayal, as I half expected they might be. Instead, there's something else, something deep and knowing, like he's seeing me for the first time, or maybe seeing a part of me he always suspected was there. He breaks the silence, his voice low and steady, carrying a weight that makes my breath catch. You were magnificent, Claire. I always knew there was more beneath those eyes. The words hit me like a wave, unexpected and powerful, washing away the tension that had coiled tight in my chest. A flood of emotions surges through me, relief that he's not condemning me, confusion at how he could have orchestrated this and still look at me with such admiration, and a strange, quiet gratitude that he saw something in me worth unveiling, even if it was in a way I never could have imagined. We sit there, side by side, not speaking for a long moment. The silence between us isn't empty, though. It's heavy with the unspoken, with the shared knowledge of what just happened on this very stage. I can feel the weight of it settling into the space between us, a tangible thing that binds us in a way I'm not sure I fully understand yet. My mind drifts, wandering back over the day, over the woman I was when I walked through those glass doors hours ago. That Claire, the one who hid behind modest dresses and soft whispers, who lived a life of restraint and routine, feels like a distant memory now. I've shed that skin, stepped out of the shadow I've clung to for decades, and into something brighter, bolder, even if it's a light society might cast harsh judgment upon. But as I sit here, the cool stage beneath me, the faint echo of my own heartbeat in my ears, I realize I have no regrets. None. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and comment if you enjoyed this story. This will help us create more engaging stories for you.